Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? We are back with some more Blade and Soul, and this time the new fused soul badge are here, and of course I'll be showing off the new soul badges, and it is called War Song. Now, this is specifically for Ice Warden or Guardian stance, okay? I do not play on Madness, so if you're looking for Madness Warden for the new soul badge, I'm not the person that you want to speak to. Okay, there's probably other people that will cover the lightning version of this, but I will be covering Guardian. Now, this soul badge is very good, and I do recommend you do pick it up as soon as possible. Mainly because if you want the short answer, okay, if you want the 100% short answer, you get about 120k DPS from this soul badge, and the uptime of this soul badge is 100% after you get your 2 stacks and you keep hitting the boss. Now, this soul badge excels during long fights, because during long fights this soul badge will actually give you higher DPS over time, instead of giving you that high initial burst like Limitless does. Limitless is high initial burst, but you start to slow down quite a bit after your initial burst. But War Song, you start off pretty slow, but you slowly gain more traction over time, which is it's a different type of gameplay. But let's see the main thing about this War Song and the War Song soul badge is that this soul badge is fused with Primal Force and Songbird. To get Primal Force, you need the green tokens, which is Glory, and I decided to not break my Limitless, mainly because Limitless is still useful in certain situations where sometimes War Song is more useful than Limitless. Okay, so that's why I didn't break them. You can get another soul badge by using solar energies, which I did, and you can farm Tower of Infinity to get your Songbird soul badge, which I highly recommend you do as well. Let me find where I put all these fragments. I can't find it. It's somewhere in my inventory. Okay, I think it's called it's right here. I'm blind. Right here. So it's called the Liberty tokens, and I have more than enough to get another badge, but I probably won't get the lightning version, mainly because I don't play lightning. Anyways, so let's talk about the effects of this soul badge. So trigger Songbird effect for 8 seconds when using Sentry on 2 stacks. Okay, you need to have 2 stacks to get this badge to get really going. You get the first stack by triggering Divine Light, which is your passive skill right here. It's a pretty powerful skill, actually. Does quite a lot of damage. Okay, it does quite a lot of damage, guys. And the cool part about it is that it also heals you. Okay, so let's say that it crits. It crits like 200k. Well, for me, it crits around 600k to about 500k, so that's about a 200 to 300k heal instantly, which is quite nice. And then it also stacks 3 Moonsparks. This is your passive. It automatically activates on its own. Okay, so you don't have to activate it whatsoever. There's also been a few Warden changes to where Contender is now better than Endure. Remember how Endure gave you extra armor and extra health over time? Now they give you this crappy 30% more recovery, which is absolutely terrible. I don't know why they did that to us, but Contender is now better because it gives us more mystic damage and 100 more, let me see, and 100 plus additional damage. Wait, what? Mystic damage and 100 additional for 12 seconds. Okay, which is, now it's better because Contender is more of a full DPS build. But anyways, this is what you spec into if you want to use War Song. Same thing as PvE. Pretty simple stuff, right? You're probably wondering why I took out my weapon. It's because he keeps doing the Guitar Hero thing. I'm like, stop. Okay, so to show off this badge to its full potential, I will be soloing one of the dungeons for you guys, okay? There's one more thing that this badge does excel at. It does excel at doing solo dungeons and doing raids, okay? If you're soloing dungeons, this badge is absolutely phenomenal. If you're doing raids, this badge is absolutely phenomenal. Especially the ones that's higher than Black Tower. I feel like Black Tower mobs, Black Tower is not really a raid anymore. It's more like a, just a tiny bit longer dungeon. But if you're doing Vortex Temple and if you're doing Twilight Temple, this badge will 100% excel you. It excels at doing the raids and solo dungeons. All right, so you guys now know the effect. It boosts the duration of Sentry by 2 seconds. It also reduces Divine Strike by 2 seconds on a successful hit of Sword Salvo during the 2 stacks of Clarity, which is very, very nice, because then you get the whole effect of it. And I'll show you guys how to use this badge inside a dungeon as well. So let's put on this badge and let's go into Evandric Lair. Now, I'll be soloing it for you guys, and I'll show you guys how to use the badge at its full capabilities, and hopefully you guys can, get something out of video, and hopefully you guys can, use the badge to its full potential. Okay, so there's a few things that I do want to say about this soul badge. Is that if you're doing dungeons, for example, Ransack Treasury all the way up to Brood Chamber, sometimes Limitless is actually better, mainly because Limitless doesn't require you to stack anything, and Limitless just, you can just stack 3 Sun Sparks and you can just go, right? But if you're doing those dungeons where you can't solo, I actually recommend you put on your Limitless Soul Badge instead of Warsong, because the fights in unless you're doing hard mode. That's a whole different story, okay? If you're doing hard mode, that's a whole different story. But if you're doing normal mode, Limitless is usually better, okay? So, when you're soloing dungeons, okay, what you want to do is you want to hit the mobs while you're here. I'm going to skip some of the mobs here on front. But what you want to do is to stack up your Clarity stacks while you're here, So... okay, that's 1 stack there. Okay, so always keep in mind of the Clarity stacks. Can you go away? Thank you. Alright, so just always remember that your Clarity stacks are active as soon as you see your Divine Light, okay? As soon as you see this white area of effect there, that means it's up, okay? That means your Clarity effect is working. Okay, pretty easy stuff, right, guys? Pretty easy stuff. Now we have 2 stacks. You guys can see here we have 2 stacks. We have another. We just got another one, and you guys can see here that the Clarity stacks they do last for a while. They last for 45 seconds each. So it's quite nice. Quite nice. Okay. All right. So Evandric Lair, pretty easy stuff. Not too hard. Can you guys be quiet? My lord. Okay. Okay, so now we just take down all the mobs and, pretty easy stuff. Oh, I didn't have any more Moon Sparks. I was like, yo, where's my Sonic Strikes? Okay, so take down these 2 guys here, pretty easy. They're not too hard. What you have to do here, if you're soloing, if you have massive AOE, highly recommend you guys CC them like this, and that's how you kill both of them, easily, right? If you have a fast, if you're like a Force Master, that's pretty easy. Blade Master, well, I don't think you can AOE them down because your AOE is not big enough. KFM Tremor should be able to do it with their stun and stuff, so pretty easy stuff, not too hard. Okay, so you guys can see that our Clarity stacks ran out, but it's okay. We'll use this area to regain our Clarity stacks here. Okay, let's get out of this place as quickly as possible. So we got our first stack there from the snakes, and of course I'm gonna try to get another stack before we go in. The most important thing is to refresh your stack right before the boss. Can you not follow me? Thank you. 3 seconds. Okay, and there we go, we refreshed it. Very nice. So now that we have refreshed it, we have another 40 some seconds. This will give us time to put back your soul. If you're running long soul, put back all your items that you use, which is quite nice. Okay, so let's go into the fight, and I'll just explain exactly how you do it. So you activate your heart. Okay, you're gonna go into sentry stance. You go divine strike, 1 sword salvo, 2 sword salvo, divine strike 1 more time, and then 1 sword salvo, 2 sword salvo. You're gonna divine strike 1 more time, and that is your combo right there. Pretty easy stuff, right, guys? I'm pretty sure the boss is gonna grab me here in just a little bit, but we got our clarity stack back for just you know, for just using sonic strikes there for just a little bit. So we do have our clarity stacks back. Get out of the poison area because poison area is death. And then we'll be able to go back into divine stance here and knock her out. Pretty easy stuff, right, guys? The clarity stacks, they do last long enough for you to pull off 3 divine strikes, which is, you know, a very, very, very strong part of your Warsong badge. I'm gonna put it back on my short soul so that we can go through the mobs here quite easily. Remember to keep an eye on your refresh rates of the Warsong badge, mainly because the it lasts 40 seconds, but I wish it was a minute, mainly because a minute would be much better. Can you not, bro? Okay, thank you. But like I said, 40 seconds is doable. Okay, it's workable. I do wish it was a minute though. Did you guys really follow me this whole time? Take her down. Remember, 2 sword salvos and then divine strike. Pretty easy stuff, right, guys? Although I don't think my divine strike hit there second time. It was sword salvo that did all the damage. Sword salvo. Yes, it's here that our stack is about to run out, but of course, if there's mobs, okay, if there's mobs, you can always refresh it pretty quickly, and always refresh right before the boss, so then you have, you know, good uptime on it. Whoop. Okay. Yo, I thought you died. I thought you died. Okay, so let's go around here. There should be 2 more waves, and we are at 1 clarity stack. Now we got 2 stacks. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Alright, so I would highly recommend before you go in here, you refresh your stack. Alright, you refresh your stack. Did I refresh my stack? No, I didn't, because it didn't go off. So refresh your stack. There we go. We refreshed it, and so this will give us time to give our get our soul back together. Put on our correct soul, and now we go in. Okay. Remember, 2 sword salvo and then divine strike immediately. 2 sword salvos and then divine strike immediately again. Alright, he's gonna put in soul separation. We know that for a fact, so we're gonna wait to put on our blade ward. And that is the boss, guys. That's how easy, okay, that's how easy it is to use this soul badge. You just gotta, you know, micromanage a little bit here. We got a transcendent engine. Although they did buff the drop rate of this item here, so, you know, you'll be seeing a lot of these lights if you are, you know, if you are trying to get these things. But I'm trying to collect them as well because I have a bunch of obsidians that I want to, you know, craft or smash together to get a, you know, a big, another big obsidian. But, you know, open up this box here, and that's it for, you know, the usage of this Warsong soul badge. Now I will show you guys in a more scenario where you're in a party with like, you know, with other players, and that will be in a different part. All right, guys, so I mean, it's gonna be in the same video, but it's gonna, you know, I'm gonna cut it to where I find a party. But you're gonna find that Warsong is not really useful in that scenario where you have other party members with you, mainly because with the way that this soul badge works, it needs to keep up with the clarity stacks. It needs to keep it up. If you can't keep up the clarity stacks constantly, and especially if you're waiting for people and you know, in the dungeon lobby, you're gonna find that the clarity stacks do run out. And so that's why I want the clarity stacks to actually be 1 minute instead of you know, instead of being only 45 seconds. But anyways, guys, I'll cut to the part where we do this with party members, and you know, we'll switch in between and see if we can use the War Song Soul Badge. But yeah, guys, I'll skip it. Alright guys, so in this type of situation, for example, you know, doing Ransack Treasury, I would actually recommend you guys use Limitless instead of War Song, especially for the first boss, mainly because, you know, the path to get to the first boss is quite long, and you can't really stack up your two clarity stacks fast enough in order to really get anywhere near the amount of time you need, right? And plus you have to wait for people to get in here at the same time as well, and so that will take away your true potential of using the War Song Soul Badge. So like I said, of course there's one player that's not even in here yet, so that's, you know, that's a thing that we have to take into account too. And I use my red soul without okay, that's fine, whatever. But you guys see that the mobs just die extremely quickly, especially with, you know, extra people here being here, and so that's why I would recommend using Limitless Soul Badge for certain dungeons if you can't solo certain dungeons, right? I personally can, you know, solo from Naryu Sanctum all the way to Drowning Deeps, so you know, I use that War Song Soul Badge quite a bit. But the only time that I don't use them is during Ransack Treasury, DST, Dreamsong Theater, Sandstorm Temple, and you know, all the higher dungeons, and except Brute Chamber, because Brute Chamber gives you just enough time. If people, you know, go in fast enough, you have just enough time for that perfect amount of burst damage, and so you'll be able to you know, pull off the magnificent 5 million burst. But you know, that's another topic, right? So now we're just waiting for this player to get in here, and you'll see the reasons why you want to use Limitless Soul Badge here instead of War Song. Mainly because, one, we have to wait for people, and two, you know, some of the players, you know, just don't get here fast enough. So I'm gonna put on Threat. We're gonna Juggernaut into Soul Burn into Sever, and the boss jumps. Yes, I mean, I still crit 10 million. And I forgot I was using Primal, using the other badge. But you guys can see here, it's better to use Limitless here instead of using War Song. Where is he going? Where is he going? Okay. Okay. But yeah, most of the time Limitless is better for, you know, killing the bosses really quickly. That was a 28-second fight. So any fights that last less than a minute, Limitless is better. But if any fights last longer than you know, 2 minutes, okay, you want to have a War Song. So just keep that in mind. It'll help you get the most out of this badge, and it'll help you get, you know, a little bit more DPS. Okay, so let's take these guys down. Okay, and now I'm going to try to stack up the clarity stacks as quickly as possible. We got about another 30 seconds before it goes away, and so I'm going to try to make it to the next area as quickly as possible here. I mean, sometimes I would make it, sometimes I wouldn't make it, but we'll see how this turns out. Anyways, let's see. We're almost there. We have like 17 seconds. It's like racing against the timer, man. Like, this timer is gonna make some wardens like kill some, you know, people in the fire because they don't want to miss out on their, you know, clarity stacks during dungeons, which is, you know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, right? Okay, so let's come on, one stack. I'm gonna try to stack both as quickly as possible here. Let's put down Blade Ward. Okay. Take those guys down. Okay, so we got 2 stacks here. Take down these dudes. Alright, so I want to kind of keep this archer to myself. Unless my teammates come in, they're just going to kill it. So, unfortunately, we won't get it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't get it. Oh, we did get it. Oh, that was cool. We did get it. So we have another 30 seconds. If this guy makes it here in 30 seconds, then I will use the badge. Otherwise, like I said, in dungeons with, when you have other players on, Limitless is like 90%. 90% most of the time better for these types of dungeons. So hopefully he makes it here in about 20 seconds. Hopefully he makes it here. Hopefully he makes it here. Otherwise, I'll switch to, Limitless, and we'll, kill the boss significantly faster because of the longer duration on Sentry. All right. So while we wait, why not put on some, get the armor back up? And I'm pretty sure we lost both stacks, so let's, put on our Limitless Soul Badge again. I know this is very, very pet peeve of me, but like, that's what you gotta do, right? That's what you gotta do, to get the most out of this badge. And so, like I said, if the boss doesn't last for more than a minute, he just kind of dies really quickly. All right, so it's almost here. Come on. I don't understand how people don't have 40k running yet. I should be able to hold aggro without threat. I'm just gonna do that. I'm too lazy to actually. I'm actually too lazy to actually spec threat, dude. We'll be able to use Divine Strike here. You guys see that? Look at that. I mean, we still burst around 3 million. And, some of my crits aren't critting, but like, most of these boss fights, they don't last that long. Yo! Lag! That lag actually gave me a freaking stun. That lag spike. You guys saw that lag spike though? I'm not gonna go in because I do massive damage already. And of course, we're gonna go into Sentry, stack it quickly. Some of my Bright Wings aren't creating, so feels bad, man. We'll have Soul Burn here in just a little bit, but I'm not gonna Soul Burn, mainly because he's gonna do the pull and he's gonna do the jump. Alright, and so that's the fight. Pretty, pretty fast. But this fight only lasted 1 minute and 13 seconds. But, it's still in the realm of I'd rather use Limitless than I'd rather use, War Song for these specific scenarios. But you guys can see that Limitless still pulls, really good damage. Keep in mind that I am using Long Soul. There's various reasons why I'm using Long Soul instead of Short Soul, but I'm not going to get into it unless people, or a lot of people ask, but, yeah. Okay, so that's it for the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are using this badge and having fun with it. If you're rating, this badge is absolutely phenomenal, okay? Twilight, or actually Black Tower does do this badge really well, mainly because, your fights do last longer. Especially the Raven King fight, where you just go around and kill the boss, and you're able to just stack your clarity effect. And so same thing for Vortex Temple, same thing for Twilight Temple there. So it's a good badge, okay? It's a very good badge, guys. Highly recommend you guys pick it up as soon as you can, but otherwise Limitless is still a good badge to use. I still pull 1.6, without trying too hard, right? Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you guys can hit that like button. If you didn't, you guys can hit that dislike button. And I'll see you guys next time on Blade and Soul. See you guys then.